Welcome into the Smokers Haven Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Z. I'm here with Coop and Andy.
Yeah.
And today's Off the Dome is your top 3 favorite days of the year, excluding personal like birthdays and anniversaries, kids' birthdays, that kind of like no personal birthdays and anniversaries. So just your favorite 3 days of the year outside of those.
Got him. I'll go right now if you want me to.
On today's episode, we're going to talk about the redraft that Coop and Andy had for a buddy of ours' draft, and we'll go through some of my best ball numbers. I had 42 best balls that I finished up today. So kind of give you some numbers on those kind of guys I like out of that. And then we'll do a who's up and who's down. We each got 3 guys we like and 3 guys we don't like at their ADP. And we are 1 week away from football, guys.
Yes. Yeah. Let's fucking go.
So amazing. 1 week.
But we do have college starting today as well, so that is awesome as well.
No more weekends without football now. College this weekend and pros in college going forward. All right, so off the dome. Who went first last week?
Doesn't matter. I'm going first
All
right now.
Andy.
I actually get to break this rule already because my kid's birthday's on Halloween, and Halloween is my favorite holiday, period. So I get to break that one. Bam, Halloween, Super Bowl Sunday, and 4th of July.
There you go. See,
I like those.
I got 4th of July 3rd, Halloween 2nd, and then kickoff Sunday. I mean, that first Sunday, that's fucking fantastic.
Those worked. Those work. I'm hoping if I gave you a 4th one, it would have been April 20th, but you know.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's every day,
20th.
though.
28th.
That's what
Fuck
I
is
said,
that?
28th. Like, what the fuck is that? And I opened up like the
No, the 27th is my anniversary, but that's how I know I can never forget it.
Did you
I
not
like all
understand
those
the
days, though.
rules?
But that's how I know when my anniversary is. It's 420. Oh, shit. My anniversary is in a week.
I cannot argue with any of those choices. So, all right. Well, let's get to news and notes with Coop.
All right. So a lot of busy shit. Nothing on the JT. Sound like the Colts were asking for an arm, a leg, and possibly a left testicle. I mean, just ridiculous with some of the reports that are coming out. We did get the news of Jacobs coming back on a modified 1-year deal as well. This with $12 million with other incentives.
Yeah.
And then we do have Jerry Jeudy with a soft tissue injury, but it sounds like no short-term IR. So
I didn't hear that they moved him onto anything.
So we'll kind of see.
Maybe they're thinking less than the 4 weeks. Then I guess.
Right. Kind of same thing with Cooper Kupp. Again, sounds like he had a setback, and so now they're just saying day to day. So, but again, who knows what that means, especially for a wide receiver in his 30s with a hamstring.
Yeah, hamstring and then a setback on that hamstring. That's not good.
Yeah, at that point, I'd almost want to just put him on the short-term IR we're going to give you the first 4 games to get yourself right and then come back because they're probably not going to be competing anyways. If we're all being realistic here, they're probably the second worst team in that division other than the Cardinals, who are obviously tanking.
Yeah. Yeah, the Cardinals are absolutely tanking. Like I said earlier in the offseason, there was a chance that this is what they were going to do. They weren't going to play Kyler Murray. They were going to get rid of all their players, and they were going to get Caleb Williams.
Yeah, and
or at least get
like
the pick to either get Caleb Williams or get a haul of picks and build around Kyler. But
either way, I mean, you can't go wrong. I still think the Kyler trade is probably more likely.
Yeah, because you take that rookie contract
over
4 or 5 years of a cheap quarterback.
Yeah. And as weird as it sounds, this is where I think he could end up in Minnesota because Cousins is on the last year of his deal. They don't have anything. They said they're not going to talk to anything about until after the season. So I could honestly see something like that to where Kyler gets traded to Minnesota.
Be interesting.
So, all right. But other than that, Patriots went a little risky. They did cut both their quarterbacks with both Malik Cunningham and Bailey Zappi.
Yeah. How you like that,
Sorry, Jarvis.
Although both did make it through the waivers and both have been signed back with the practice squad for New England, but still a ballsy move to put both their backup quarterbacks on the.
It's good news for
Yeah,
Mac
well-
Jones, though.
Yeah.
I knew no one wanted zap, zap, zap.
The lightning rod.
Only Jarvis wanted him.
And he got him. He
And he-
got him in every league he could get him in because he's always available.
And he even paid a good amount of money.
Oh,
and
yes, he
Oh,
did.
no. Yeah, that's right.
I wish I would have had more money. He would have paid more for him.
Then we had Melvin Gordon getting cut. Doesn't sound like he's signed anywhere yet with any practice squad. So I think that could be one of those after week ones where the vet contracts aren't guaranteed. We could see him
I'm almost
sign.
wondering if that's what Kareem Hunt's waiting for. Like, I want more money, and I don't care if it's not guaranteed. Give me a bigger deal, and I'll earn it
Yeah, but they can't do that until
after week one, because otherwise it'd be a guaranteed
because he's a vet.
deal. Yep.
Yep. I did have Myles Gaskins getting cut there in Miami, especially with was it Wilson that went on the IR?
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
So that kind of limits that backfield, but he signed right away there in Minnesota. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes because that kind of coincides with Dwayne McBride getting cut, but re-signed to the practice squad. So I think that's kind of one of those moves where they liked McBride, but when they signed Gaskins, I think they had to cut him.
Yeah. Yeah, they need a little bit more veteran depth behind Madison. Yeah.
I think that's about
I
all
think we'll
we
see
got,
quite a
really.
few more moves in the next
few days.
few days, yeah, as teams sort their rosters out.
Yeah.
More guys going to the IR, unfortunately.
Probably be more back end stuff, but maybe I doubt we'll see trade or anything because I would still like to see JT get traded, but I just don't think that's going to happen before close to the trade deadline at best if he does get traded. So
He will.
you think he will?
He will.
Poor Taylor owners. Can you imagine? Or even just the redraft guys who took him in the second round recently. And
Yeah.
I'm guessing somebody took him in this one we're going to talk about here in a bit.
Oh, yes.
they
Yes,
most
they
definitely
did. So
In the second round, too.
All right. Thanks for the news and notes. Let's go into our first topic. We're going to talk about this draft that you guys were in. What picks did you guys have?
I had 8.
and I got 10.
All right. It's a 12-teamer. It's like 19 spots, just a regular one quarterback league.
2 running back, 2 wide receiver, tight end, flex, and unfortunately a kicker and a defense.
Yeah, it's kicker and defense. At least they're a little whatever. It's a redraft. Well, let's start off. Who'd you take with your first pick there, Andy?
Bijan fell all the way down to me. So that's where I went.
Pick 8.
Pick 8.
Yeah, that was weird to see, especially with quarterback going so early there at pick 6, which was in a one quarterback league. You don't normally expect to see a quarterback go maybe in the first round or two.
No, definitely not in the first. Maybe end of the second. Yeah, we got two
Two
of them going in the
quarterbacks
first
because
round.
after Andy took Bijan, you had Josh Allen going.
And a tight end.
Yeah, Kelsey.
Yeah, but
at
it's
least I can
Kelsey.
understand.
He's not really a tight end. He's a fucking
Yeah.
machine.
Still, it does push people down. That's how you end up with
Yeah, where-
Bijan sitting there at 8.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get Chubb. Like I thought Bijan was gone, and then all of a sudden, bing, bing, bing. All right, and I knew Coop over here. He was like, the Falcons fan.
Yeah, you had to be a prick and just take. You
Bijan.
could have just taken Chubb.
Well, sometimes the tiebreaker is I like both of them. Which one pisses the next guy off more? It's a good
I was excited
tiebreaker.
thinking I was gonna. I was excited thinking I was getting Chubb, but no.
No, but at least I was at 10 though. I
And
was
this is
able to
the
get
first-
a Chubb.
This will
So
be the first league that I actually have him in.
Yeah.
I also have him in no leagues also at this
I
point.
got one.
And then Tyreek going there to 11, I think is just stupid good value there for him.
Yeah, that's pretty late to see Tyreek go. You said you got Chubb at 10.
Yeah, and then I followed up here with Pollard at 2-3 because we had a little bit of a run on running backs with both Henry, Barkley, and then Jacobs all going. So I was like, all right, let me just go ahead, kind of just go with that hero RB strategy at this point, get my 2 top end running backs, and then we'll go from there.
I love the Pollard pick there because there's a pretty big drop off, in my opinion, to the next tier running back after Pollard.
Yeah, knowing that I got myself those 2 high end is going to be a huge advantage in most situations.
And then Cooper Cup went. That could be a wasted pick at 2-4.
Yeah.
Lamb and A.J. Brown. Then we got Jonathan Taylor, another wasted pick at 2-7. Atlanta's putting himself in a bit of a hole with the quarterback in the first round and then Jonathan Taylor in the second round.
Yeah, it's just something that I was surprised that he actually went that early. Like, everybody should know, like, he's basically on a thin ice situation to where he's one thing away from not even playing the year. So
yeah, that's an interesting one.
and
Let's see. Oh, wait. Skipped over Andy. CD Lamb in the second.
Yeah, I was debating between him and A.J. Brown. And he kind of did one of those little eeny, meeny, miny, mo type things. And yeah, I ended up on C.D. Lamb, and here we go. Take him.
I like that
So,
one.
hey, my first 2 picks are for you guys, man. They're for you guys.
Let's see. We had another quarterback at the end of the second, Jalen Hurts, and one to start the third.
nope.
Well, 3. Oh, wait. No. Third round reversal.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I like.
Yeah, with then St. Brown going. I thought that was okay. I mean, I'm okay with it with the option of either Metcalf or Olave.
Well, I like it because his
Or
first 2
Higgins.
picks are running backs, so he needs
Yeah.
a receiver.
I just think I would have maybe gone with Olave, but
Yeah, that's a toss-up. Amon-Ra's at least really the only receiving option at this point until Jameson comes back.
yeah, well, you know you are getting the number one.
He's going to get lit up with targets. Then a couple quarterbacks, Lamar, and then you had
Fields.
pick 3-3.
Yeah, I ended up going Fields. I was looking at what was available, and I really wanted to grab Olave, but at the same time, I kind of seen where, all right, we've already had now 4 quarterbacks go, and I didn't really kind of want to miss out on any of that top 8 that we really talk about. Like, okay, here's your top end. So it really kind of became Herbert or Fields.
It looks
And
like, you
I
would
just
have missed
kinda-
out if you passed, at least the way it looks.
Yeah, he would have because I was coming up 2 spots behind him, and I was getting to Justin.
Yeah.
I was getting to Justin.
But it would have been missing out on any of the top 8 quarterbacks,
Oh, I
really,
agree.
though, if I don't take one
yeah.
there. So I kind of went with the
Which is
value.
weird. They went so early.
Yeah.
And then, 3-5. Andy, you took Herbert.
Yeah, because like he said, quarterbacks will start going early, and I'm high on Herbert this year. Like, I'm taking him while I can.
I am too. He had a down year last year. I think he's going to have a much, much better year this year.
And
Kellen
I like,
Moore
I
there.
like my 2 guys in front of him already. Them guys are going to produce points, so I feel like I can afford to take a quarterback there.
And then before it got back to you, we had Burrow, Lawrence, and Cousins go. Jeez, quarterbacks just flew off the board.
Yeah,
So then it got back to you.
Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon.
I like that one. He's going to get a lot of work this year.
Yeah, you just got to hope he stays healthy just because, especially where there is really no backup now with P. Ryan gone. He's going to be the workhorse in that offense in the backfield.
He will. And if Burrow's not right, we're
Then move on. Pick 410 with Coop.
Yeah. Went with Amari Cooper here. I was really hoping for Ridley. He got obviously taken a little bit earlier. So just kind of looking at what was available. I mean, with Cooper really being the true number 1, I felt really good at the value that I was going to get and the opportunities that I think he'll have in that offense.
Yeah, I think Amari Cooper is going to have a good year too, as long as Watson is good. Then moving forward, 5th round. Let's see, we'll just go through these a little bit. Looks like you took Kyle Pitts there, Coop, and then Andy took Keenan Allen.
Yep.
I just want to get to the part where I can rip your teams.
We're going to be at the bottom, people that are expendable. So, yeah.
Darren Waller in the 6th for Andy and Brandon Ayuk for Coop.
Yeah, that's one I kind of looking back, I kind of kicking myself at really thinking I should have probably either taken Lockett or Deontay. But I think I'll be okay with Ayuk.
At least people chilled out and went 2 rounds without picking a quarterback. That's good to see.
Because everybody had one by then.
Oh, Donk. Is that Josh?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I see the top 8 quarterbacks and then 1 extra. And then I had to look to see if it was a Vikings fan. And it was. And it was. There should be a gap between those 8. And Aaron Rodgers shouldn't be there either. All right, moving on. Round 7, we got James Conner to Coop, got Mike Evans to Andy. I love that Mike Evans pick. He's so undervalued this year.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Connor's he's basically the only thing left, really.
I honestly could see them even moving him.
Yeah, at this point, him and Rondale Moore could both be, or even Hollywood.
Or Hollywood, because,
Or all of them.
I
Who
could see
knows?
Hollywood.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Okay, I need
You like Hollywood catching balls from Clayton Tune?
I don't care who's catching the goddamn ball for as long as he's catching it.
Their quarterbacks. When they cut Colt McCoy, it was like, you knew for sure what they were doing. 100%. He had to be the best quarterback in camp. 8th round, we got Addison to Andy, George Pickens to Coop.
Yeah, I picked that because I was looking at my receivers. 2 of them had a week 5 bye, so I wanted to get. I feel Addison's going to be really good. So
Yeah. The Vikings are saying they have 2 Justin Jeffersons now.
I hope not.
9th round, I love your pick, Coop, with Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, getting what should be another starting running back to really give me 4 solid starters at the running back position. I can cover for anything that should happen, especially where nobody has the same bye week. So I can.
I
also
like your
play
running
matchups.
backs. Your receivers are a little lacking. You're going to definitely be playing running backs in the flex.
But I like that though because they do see the ball more often than not, especially where most of them are the workhorses. So with pretty clear cut being the number one with not a lot behind them.
Then we got Andy over here, go Brian Robinson in the 9th, Anthony Richardson in the 10th.
that's my backup.
And a single quarterback, if you're going to take a backup QB, Anthony Richardson's the answer to the backup QB just because he has so much upside. Otherwise, I'm more likely just not even to take one and just go ahead and stream the position. Take that starter guy, and then just whenever his bye comes up, or if he gets hurt, you're probably screwed anyway. But I do like Anthony Richardson. A lot of upside. You're going to make me talk bad about, and I love the player. I don't like the pick of Sam Howell.
Well, if you look at him, he's like that. He's that number 18th pick, right? That 18th, 19th. Those
Yeah,
are
18.
fucking waiver wire guys that can fucking get rid of.
I guess I prefer to take the waiver wire, just pick like a running back or a receiver and see what happens. You did get Marvin Mims. I love that late. How he went in the 17th, I'm not quite sure.
It's pretty easy. Just follow that little line. You'll see everybody who went before him.
Yeah, you're going to have people regretting that one.
Yeah.
But now with that Judy stuff, yeah.
I'll have to keep an eye on this league as it goes and see how those teams turn out for you guys.
Yeah,
I can only go up from last year.
Best part, if anything does happen to Mixon, though, I do have Chase Brown, who is the backup right now. So
Who was the champ in that league last year?
I am.
That's cool.
I had like 2 wins. If you look at my team, I think Jonathan Taylor was my oldest fucking player on that team.
Yeah. Drafted Dynasty in a
I
redraft.
totally did. Well, it's been so long since I've done a redraft league.
It was
Yeah.
a good time, and
It's
it's
just
a
habit.
fun one.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go through and look at my team, like you'll still see my dynasty fucking high in this.
It's different drafting with people who aren't like super serious.
Yeah.
And you end up with defenses and the kickers going like in the single digit rounds and stuff. That
When they obviously should still.
ends up being interesting.
Yeah.
ADP means nothing.
It really doesn't. I mean, because at that point, they're just, these scored the most points at this point. Like,
Yeah.
it's a kicker and it's a defense. That should be your last pick. That should be round 18 and 19.
Yep. All right. So then my best balls, I did underdog this year. So I signed up over the course of a few months, did 42 of them, which was fun. All slow drafts. So you just kind of pick when you got time.
When you got time, have 42 best balls.
Yeah. I did them in like eight groups or groups of 8. So I did 5. Was going to be 5 groups of 8. There was a couple $3 ones that came up. So it ended up being 4 groups of 8 and then 1 of 10.
It ain't too bad.
But yeah, so my highest drafted players. So I guess you call them kind of my guys in a way. Right around 30% of the drafts, 13 out of 42 of them were Anthony Richardson and Bijan Robinson. Richardson, I was taken around the beginning of round 9. Pick 96. And then Bijan was almost pick 8, middle of round 1.
Which is about where he should go. So
And I looked back through, I did pick Bijan over Chubb most of the time when I was given that option.
yeah, again, I think some of that has to do more with he has the receiving potential and he's probably going to catch a few more out of the backfield.
And it's more about the unknown. Like, you don't know what Bijan is yet.
True.
He could be fucking amazing. You know he's good. You just don't know, like, man,
How that
Algier
offense-
put up 1,000. Maybe Bijan goes for 2.
If he goes for 2,
You know Chubb's really, really good.
if he goes for 2, Atlanta's going to be making the playoffs. So I would be happy with that.
And it's interesting to look at the Anthony Richardson thing at beginning of my drafts. I was getting him later, like
Yeah,
end of
hundreds.
round 9 or, up in the hundreds.
Round 10.
Now it's more in like the late 80s, early 80s. He's definitely moved up through the offseason.
Well, especially now that he's been named the starter and such, it's just one of those things
Captain.
you're going to see that rise because
Yep.
people know, so they're going to take their chance on him.
And then the next step down, the guys I took in 12 drafts, we'll go with the good one first. It was Michael Pittman. I think that's going to work out well with Anthony Richardson.
We'll see.
There's some studies that show like run option quarterbacks will hyper target their main target, which is going to be Michael Pittman. He is their main target.
He's their one.
They have no running back. They really have no tight end.
No, they do have that Kyler Granson kid.
Yeah.
Has been okay, and
Kylan.
Kylan.
Yeah,
So,
Kylie Granson.
Yeah.
And Mo Alley
All right.
Cox.
so
Because
Israel Bonaconda.
That's exactly how I say it.
they IR'd the other guy, Jelani
Jelani
Woods.
Woods.
He's on IR.
They still get, oh, yeah.
And yeah, the bad one was Rondell Moore. I don't think that one's going to work out. I was drafting him quite a bit early on in my drafts, like in late May and June there.
He still may be okay. It just really depends if Kyler comes back, which
Yeah.
is looking more and more like they're probably just going to tank this year. So
Looking unlikely, yeah. Pittman, I was taking right towards the end of round 6. Rondell Moore towards the end of round 12. All 4 of those that I've mentioned, I was taking, I guess, above their ADP, which makes sense for people you're going to have in a lot of drafts. You're probably taking them above ADP, or you wouldn't get them as often.
yeah, and especially where it's probably people you're a little bit higher on compared to others. So
Next group were my 10 out of 42, my almost 25 percenters.
I have like a couple of these here.
Donovan Peoples-Jones, he's kind of my sleeper in Cleveland. Somebody's got to be the number 2. We don't know who it is. Evan Ingram, I don't know so much about him. I wait on tight end. He ends up being there a little bit later. So I usually end up grabbing it. It looks like around 9-ish.
Which is a good value, though, especially for somebody that's going to get targets in that offense. So
Pretty sure in all these, he's probably my first tight end taken. I doubt I took a backup that early. Sam Howell, been taking him all off season.
taking basically towards the back end of everything. So
Yeah, round 16. Got a value on him at this point because his ADPs went up quite a bit recently. Now he's the starter.
or announced as the starter. I mean, a lot of people already
They pretty much
assumed-
thought he was, but they didn't. They got to see him play some too.
Yeah. Because he really had that one game against Dallas, but again, that was against
And the preseason from last year.
yeah. But again, when you guys played, you guys didn't have anybody
No.
play in that game.
Then I also got Jamal Williams, Delvin Cook, and Juju Smith-Schuster. All of them kind of right around ADP.
You still around?
Yep.
Oh,
Round 11, 11 and a half for Jamal, 8 for Delvin.
Which
Beginning
really isn't
around 10
bad,
for Juju.
Honestly,
Yeah.
for Dalvin to get him that late is pretty good, especially now that he has signed and you know the situation in. You
Yeah,
could
we
be
just
in-
don't know exactly how they're going to use him. I think
Working.
early on he'll be good. We'll
Yeah.
see about later.
once Brees gets fully back and healthy.
My guys I took in 9 out of 42 were Alan Lazard, Nick Chubb, and Jake Ferguson.
Nick Chubb.
Yep.
Oh, never mind.
I was getting him late in some drafts. I got him as late as pick 20.
Yeah,
Took him as
looking
early
at
as
that.
pick 9.
Wow.
Yeah, like almost end of the second. I was pretty happy with that one.
Yeah, see 112 there. So, I mean, that's not bad, especially if you're getting him as that like last pick in the first round. Like,
Yep, that's where I took him quite a bit, like 5 times right at the end of the first, kind of. But I got him 4 times, it looks like, in the middle of the second, which I was ecstatic for.
Yeah, which is absolutely crazy for a guy that has RB1 overall potential.
And then Ferguson was just a late round, almost round 17. But
There's
again,
your
his
backup tight end.
ADPs went up quite a bit. So
Yeah, because
Yeah.
now that he's been announced a starter and such.
a lot of times he was my second or third. If I wait till towards the end for tight end, then a lot of times I'll end up taking 3 just to see if
who's-
one hits.
Yeah.
But if I have a really good one, I usually just take 2.
And then, yeah, because at that point, you're only going to be playing that other one on the bye week. So,
Yep. Next tier, 8 of 42, or Tyquan Thornton, which is going to be terrible. Taking him as a best ball guy because he's a deep shot guy. He's on IR. Doesn't look good. Cortland Sutton, I think he's going to be awesome this year.
well, and he's gotten a boost now with the Jerry Judy news.
I just traded for him today in my Reddit league. Traded David Montgomery straight up for Sutton.
That ain't bad.
I might give up a little value for this year, possibly, but I don't know. Long term wise, I like receiver.
Yeah.
Let's see: Tyler Boyd, Cordero Patterson, Jalen Warren, stud, and Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey was kind of if I picked early in the draft, like in the top 5, I was usually ending up with McCaffrey, unless I was first, and then I would get Jefferson. That only happened a few times.
I didn't get him in any of mine, at least for the big ones. I did a couple smaller ones where it was like a 3-man best ball. It was kind of interesting, but yeah, I think that was the only one I ever had the number 1 overall. And so the one time I got Jefferson.
All those guys were 20% ish or above. Which, listening to the footballers, they say that's kind of like if you really like a guy, that's about where you're going to be. 30% if you're like super super high on a guy like. So with Richardson and Bijan. And then the last tier is just under that 20%, 7 out of 42. It's Devin Singletary, KJ Osborne, Eckler, Amari Cooper, Tyler Higbee, and Miles Sanders.
Yeah. I still think Eckler can be good this year. We'll see what happens for the future. He's one of those guys that you really this is that last year of the contract. So you're just hoping to get that one last good year before you really just don't know anymore.
It's going to be fun watching these kind of throughout the year. I saved all the
Data.
Yeah, I've got my 5 sets there and spaced out by the dates that I started them. I can kind of watch and see how they go throughout the year. Hopefully, I at least win my money back so I can do it again.
Or win more, so then we can all just do it as a league.
That'd be fun to win more, yeah. Yep. All right. We're going to move on to our who's up and who's down. We'll go ahead and start with Andy. Give us one of your ups.
One of my ups, Michael Evans, Tampa Bay. Right now, he's the wide receiver number 31, ADP 71. I think he should be going about the 34 to 40 range. He will be ended up at the top 15, 20 by the end of the year.
I could definitely see that. I like Baker. I know everybody hates on him, but he's a solid quarterback. He's not elite for sure, but he can chuck the ball. And Evans has shown that if you get it close, he's going to bring it in.
Yeah.
He did win Johnny Manziel Heisman.
That he did. I mean, back in college, Mike Evans was basically unguardable.
Oh, it was
And
insane.
he was absolutely ridiculous. And that was back before Texas A&M was actually good.
And I think people are just bored with him is why his ADP is low.
Well, and he's getting up there in age. He is, I believe, 33,
Yeah, but
34 this season.
I don't even think he's that old. I don't think he's that old. For redraft, he's so undervalued.
Yeah.
He's had 1,000 yards every single year of his career.
That's every year if you didn't hear him.
Yeah, he's 30.
30. Okay. Just seems like he is older because he's been
And he
been doing
just turned 30 on the 21st.
Oh,
10
shoot.
days ago. Happy late birthday. I love Mike Evans. I've got him on a ton of teams. So
Yeah, if you ain't got him, or if you got him, I don't. But if he's not on your team, he's on mine.
yeah, that's a good up. I agree with that one. Coop.
All right. So for my first one, just go here and start with Mr. Trevor Lawrence, currently ADP 54. I really think he should be in that 35 to 40 range because I think he's going to make that step and continue. And I think he could maybe push for that top 4 to top spot for a quarterback. So
Which of the other 7 would you be taking him over?
I mean, obviously, because depends on where you're at too. I mean, depending on what's been taken in front of you, because I would probably generally take him over maybe Lamar, just because again, Lamar, you don't know what that offense is going to be for that. So that's one of those things, you know what you're getting in Lawrence and with that offense. Probably going to take him over, obviously, Richardson. Probably maybe Burrow just because with the injury. A little worried about that. I mean, he's only just now getting back to practice, and it still doesn't seem like he's 100%. So, but again, just kind of where I would project him, I think he's going to end up being in that top 4 conversation.
I've been stressing all week.
I like that. Dude, do I like that.
I've got the 4th pick in this upcoming draft on Sunday, and it's just assuming that the other 3 are not these 2. It's like, do I take Lamar or do I take Justin Fields? And can't decide. It's hurting my head. Can't decide which one.
Where you got to flip a coin and go.
I'm hoping somebody else picks one of them and I don't have to choose.
It's always the best option. Who do you got for your first up here?
We'll go with. Well, let's go with quarterback. Anthony Richardson. Been high on him all off season. He's just a freak. The guy is so fucking athletic. His ADP is 111, quarterback 15. I think he's a top 10 quarterback. Top 10 quarterback this year in redraft. It'll be towards probably the lower end of that top 10, 8, 9, 10, somewhere probably this year. Unless all of a sudden he's just a way better passer than we thought. But
yeah, just from the rushing aspect, I can see where he could definitely end up in that top 10.
If I wait on quarterback and don't take one early, I'm plenty happy taking Richardson like end of the 6th, beginning of the 7th, somewhere in there. I'd be fine with that.
And then probably still want to follow up with another veteran type quarterback, maybe like a Geno in a few rounds after that, if you can snag something like that.
Like I said, if it's single quarterback, I might just roll.
Well, just
Take
for
Sam
that
Howell
injury,
at the
because
end.
again, where he is a running quarterback, so it is one of those things. Granted, he's absolutely massive of a human being, but
I think Howell would end up on, if I were doing a lot of redrafts, I think Howell would end up as my backup if I were to take one quite often.
which is not a bad pick either. Because if he
good.
performs in that offense,
His rushing is solid. So let's go to Andy with another up.
All right. You guys are going to love this one. Derek Carr.
No one talks about him this offseason.
Nobody does. All right, let me ask you one question. What do you think of Christian Olave?
Olave's awesome.
Chris Olave.
Christian Olave.
You can
He's
extend
making up-
names now. The footballer said so.
Oh, that's right. I mean, they did turn Cam Akers into Cameron.
Yeah,
So
you can definitely extend names now. You don't just have to shorten them.
Who's throwing him the ball? Exactly, Derek Carr. And if Mike Thomas is Mike Thomas again.
you mean Slant Man?
Jimmy Grandpa?
Yep, I was just going to bring him up too. Like, they got Jimmy Graham.
What is this? 2005? Actually, I don't think.
Did you
they
see
were
the
playing
box
that
out
long
he had
ago.
in the preseason game?
Oh,
Or
that
the
last
end-
one.
Yeah. Box the
Yeah,
guy out. Touchdown.
Against like third stringers, yeah.
I thought
They're all
for sure-
probably like, oh my God, Jimmy Graham is touching me.
I thought for sure that was it for him, that he was going to hang him up, call it good. That's why they targeted him so much in that game. But he's on the roster, so I guess not.
Man, I predict him. Well, his ADP is 155. He's quarterback 19. I think he's either going to be one spot inside the 10 or one spot outside the 10.
Wow.
9 to 11.
I know what you're looking at, but no, I didn't want to say it. And I just now realized that when I sat down and opened this.
That's up there a ways.
Yeah, it is.
Finish as a top 12. I mean, in the top half, that'd be a damn good year.
Be a really good year.
We'll see what happens with that offense. I mean, he is an upgrade over Andy Dalton, so
I
once
think
Kamara comes back,
the
too.
rookie for the Saints is an upgrade over Andy Dalton. I'm not even sure it is. Jake something.
Jake Browning?
No, like Hayner. Or,
Oh, that Jake Haney.
yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. Andy Dalton sucks.
Don't
For
be
an
dissing
NFL
the Red
quarterback.
Rifle.
Anytime I say an NFL player sucks, I mean for the NFL. It's obviously far better at football than I am at anything else in my life. So, is Steve another up?
All right. So let's go with that one. Let's go here. Jalen Warren, current ADP 141. I think he should be probably in that 90-95 range because with everything that's coming out, sounds like he's going to get a fair share of touches within that offense. And if he's just as explosive as he's been, he's going to see a little bit of an increase. So that could just make him maybe push him up to that high RB2, high flex, low RB2 status.
Yeah, I think he's going to be playable at times this year, even if Najee doesn't get hurt. I think Warren's going to be flex play at times this year.
Yeah, so it's just something to watch, and especially if something does happen, I mean, he's going to be a great pickup or on somebody's bench that's going to be able to go, hey, I have another starter, and
Yeah.
somebody that's going to probably average 12 to 20 points a game.
Yeah, I like Jalen Warren this year. And dynasty-wise.
Right. What do you got?
All right. I'll stay in that division at running back. I got J.K. Dobbins. Right now he's ADP 50, running back 19. I think he ends up right there on the cusp of an RB1. And I'd be comfortable taking him mid to late third round. I think he's going to be fantastic. He looks so good at the end of last year. Now he's a further removed from that nasty injury, and I think he's going to be extremely good.
Yeah, if he's healthy, and it sounds like that offense is going to have a much quicker pace of play, which could help him and get him a few more touches. So
Yeah, with Mencken.
Todd Monken,
Yeah,
he was the offense coordinator there at Georgia.
that'll be interesting to see how that offense runs now.
It
So yeah,
definitely will.
that's one of my ups with Dobbins. Andy, your third one?
Well, since you guys are in that division, I'm getting the hell out of there. I got Sam Howell as my third guy there.
Love it.
QB 25 going at 190. I predict he will be QB 15 by the end of the year.
I'll second that one. I like it. That rushing upside with him, I love it.
Yeah, he's got the weapons there. I mean, I like Brian Robinson. You got McLaurin. You got Dotson,
Got Gibson.
and then Logan Thomas.
And we got I don't want to say his name.
Seth Turner is he's a tight end. I think he might take over for Logan Thomas.
Yeah,
We'll see what
I
happens.
wasn't saying his name at all.
Pay attention, Jarvis. That's who you got to take from Andy.
You can take him all you want.
He's a super late flyer, but yeah, I think the Commanders could surprise people this year.
They will.
They might not be the last place team in the division. It
Nope.
might be the Giants.
No, it might be Dallas too.
It'll now be Dallas. Be a very unhappy host throughout the year.
I mean, you do have Trey Lance as your back.
That might not be a
I
bad
heard
thing.
a rumor, I don't know how true it is, that Dak is pissed. Yeah. They gave him no heads up that they were trading for Lance. They spent draft capital on him.
Yeah, fourth
Dak's
round.
contract's kind of coming up. Yeah, I heard Dak is pissed. I hope not, but
I mean, if
quarterbacks
anything,
have gotten pissed for less. So
light a fire under him to maybe take care of the ball.
yeah,
But Jerry Jones said something. I can't remember what he said. I don't want to play him if I don't have to, or something like that.
Yeah, well, obviously not. You
Why
want to
would
have.
you trade? Why would you trade for somebody if you didn't want to bank on him? Basically,
yeah.
I mean, he fits
remember
more
when-
of the Dak mold, I guess.
He's kind of saying I don't want to play him because that means Dak got hurt.
Yeah, which to me would make sense because you don't want your star player or star quarterback on the sideline. Because if he gets hurt and they have to throw Lance in, especially this early, where he probably hasn't gotten much of a chance to learn a lot of the playbook.
They've got him for 2 years. And if they do let him walk, most likely he probably gets signed somewhere and they get a comp pick out of it.
Maybe. So,
Your last up, Coop?
my last one, I got Isaiah Pacheco. Currently ADP is 71. I think he should be in the 55-60 range. I think he's really going to solidify that RB1 for Kansas City. As long as he's healthy, he looks like a really good running back.
Top 5 running back all time, according to him.
Yeah. I did agree with his first 4 though.
Yeah, his first 4 were right on.
Yeah, I mean,
the 5th one was a stretch. That was a stretch, Isaiah. A little bit of a stretch.
but self-confidence, man, you got to believe in yourself. So
Yeah.
I hope he does
love
it.
watching him run. He's so fun.
And you got to love the passion that he puts into it.
Yeah.
And so he's a fun guy to watch. And I just think he's really going to solidify that Chiefs RB1 and just finally settle that position for them is what I'm hoping at least.
All right, my last one, same division, Cortland Sutton. For one, outside of him, the entire wide receiver room is falling apart, or him and Mims.
Yeah.
Everybody else is hurt.
I'm surprised you didn't pick Mims.
Yeah. I want to. Mims is great for a dynasty. He'd be a good late round flyer in redraft, but so I think Sutton's going to. I heard he's the Michael Thomas of this offense. That's what Sean Payton
Was
put him
referring
as.
to.
So,
Wait. Michael Thomas of today?
but hopefully Michael Thomas says of the 100 and however
What
many
was that 3 years ago?
receptions.
Like
Yeah.
2020.
So Sutton's ADP is 106, wide receiver 42. That's outlandish. He is not outside of the top wide receiver 3.
He shouldn't
So
be.
I got him at least as top 28. Again, round 6 or 7, I think is probably okay for Sutton. If you play the ADP game, you could wait a little longer since apparently everybody hates him. But
Well, and especially now with the Jerry Jeudy news, I think that's something where you could start seeing his ADP is going to go up right before the season starts because all those guys that are drafting right before here, the kickoff, are going to have that more of an idea of who's healthy and not. So,
and maybe it's not even Sutton hate as much as it Russell Wilson.
yeah, that's the other thing.
People
too.
don't like Russell Wilson very much.
Yeah, especially with his
right.
Broncos country.
Oh, man.
Just absolutely horrible.
All right. Well, let's get into our negatives. We're going to do our 3 downs.
We start with you.
All right. Fine. I'll start with me. One of my downs. I'm just going to keep ragging on this guy. Jalen Hurts. I think he's getting overdrafted. ADP 23, so end of the second. Quarterback 3. I think he finishes outside of the top 6. I'm not going to end up with him because I wouldn't take him till like the late 3rd. And seems like him, Allen, and Mahomes go in that late 2nd to late 3rd range. So
And they go together too, making a bunch.
yeah, usually those 3 do.
Well, once somebody takes one, it's usually going to start the run. Is usually what
But then
happens.
there's like a pause.
I'm really hoping somebody
Those
takes
three,
him
then
Sunday
there's
in
a
the top
pause.
3. Please get Hurts out of there so it just waste one of those top 3 picks.
Yeah, and again, in a single quarterback league, it's one of those things, though, that honestly they shouldn't go until probably the 4th or 5th round until your first
Yeah.
quarterback.
Well, this redraft super flex, so
Yeah, well, obviously Superflex makes it different where you need to get the top quarterbacks fast.
yeah, they're going to go quick. Well, they should. We'll see. It's drafting against 11 other humans. You never know. Coop, who do you got for a down?
All right. For my first one, let's go ahead here. We'll go with Ramondre Stevenson. Currently ADP 29. I think he really should be in the 40-50 range. Again, I'm hoping the Patriots offense is going to be better than last year, but you don't know. And then with the signing now of Zeke, I just think it really kind of pushes his value down because I don't think he's going to see as many of the goal line carries. That's going to go to Zeke. And so that really just pushes his value down and kind of pushes him back to maybe another round or 2 before he should be getting drafted.
Yeah, I'm not big on Ramondre this year.
I love him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why do you think he's going
He's
to?
all yours.
Well, because do you think Zeke's going to be the fucking guy stealing
No.
shit from him?
No, I think Zeke's going to get work, though.
He will, but I don't think he's going to really put a dent into what Bill Belichick has in mind. And he's
I
one of
think
the
he's going to
greatest
steal a lot
minds.
of the goal line carries, though, which is really going to where Ramondre is going to lose a lot of that value is inside the 5.
I didn't quite get your downs, Andy.
Oh, I do. I love my downs.
I know I don't get the other names in there.
Well, okay. Well, I'll explain. My first one's T. Higgins. Right now, he's going at wide receiver 14, number 28 in ADP. These are the Metcalf, Ridley, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Debo Samuel, Drake London. I would rather have all those guys or any of those guys before I had T. Higgins. And these guys are all being taken behind T. Higgins. Now, I like T. Higgins. The only thing is he's got Jamar Chase there. He's a number 2 guy. All the guys I just named are number 1 guys. And I figured they're always going to be the first option to be looked at, you know? Like, I'm not saying T. Higgins is going to be horrible. Like, I got him finishing on the top 30, like 25 to 30 range by the end of the year.
That would be bad if you draft him as a wide receiver 14, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, you're definitely.
That's where he's going now.
Yeah, I'm saying, if he finishes where you say that, people are going to be extremely disappointed in that pick.
Well, no, I'm not necessarily. Like, I don't have him going down far. Like,
Well, that's a little ways.
But
Yeah, I mean,
Goes from a wide receiver top end 2 to a mid 3, top to 3. I don't know. I would take Ridley, probably Cooper, London, Metcalf though. That's where I get real close. Debo, I'm low on.
Yeah, I mean Ridley, obviously. Keenan, it's toss up. Honestly, just because you don't know his health.
I'm the biggest Keenan Allen, like,
Cooper
do
Kupp,
not
I
draft
would.
that man. You know what I mean? So if I'm putting him on my list, but
I mean Cooper Kupp.
I can see
Too
it
many
though.
injuries.
I love.
I don't
T.
think we're
Higgins.
gonna
Like I
end up
said,
with-
If he wasn't with Cincinnati, he would not be on this page.
I don't think we're going to end up with the same wide receiver 2s finishing as wide receiver 1s every year. It'll probably switch up.
Yeah,
Higgins and
Waddle.
Devontae Smith and Waddle. Like, they're all really good, but they all are second on their team. So eventually you could see that kind of regress back.
Right.
Moving on. My next down, I'm going to go Devontae Adams. ADP 18, wide receiver 8. I think he should be more around like wide receiver 15. For one, I don't trust Jimmy G. And Devontae is getting up there a little bit more. I don't know. I see a down year coming for the Raiders in general.
Yeah, I mean a lot of it is going to depend on the health, but no Darren Waller. I mean Jacobs, at least they did get Jacobs back, so you know they're probably going to run the shit out of the ball.
Yeah, I think Jacobs is going to have another really good year. Maybe not quite to last year's level, but
He could maybe catch a few more passes just because Jimmy does like to check down quite a bit.
yep.
But yeah, it is definitely something to watch. We'll see how that offense kind of pans out.
How about your second one?
I'll go ahead here. Let's go Cooper Kupp.
Low hanging fruit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially after today's news.
Well, I already had him on
Yeah,
there before
I
that.
know,
I
I
mean,
know
right
you
now, currently ADP 7. I think he should be in that 20 to 25 range. I
he
mean,
probably will be by the end of the weekend.
yeah.
He's going to drop a lot off of this news.
Yeah. We could definitely see him dropping maybe even to like that 8-9 range, which would be kind of crazy. But again, for a guy you're probably looking maybe something like a Jamison Williams, he might not see the first 6 weeks. So
Yeah, I could see him definitely dropping into the, early third or something. People are a little weary on it. Somebody's eventually going to take it just because
the
the
value.
chance. But I think he's going to have a down year.
Yeah. And then Rams are almost kind of doing what the Cardinals are doing, except they have no way to dump all those salaries just because they're paying them so much with Stafford and
Their cap
Donaldson.
is so messed up right now.
Yeah. So they're going to be down the next few years. So I really don't like it. And that kind of will follow up with my next one on it as well. So
Andy, your second down?
Oh, any meeny miny mo, Lamar Jackson, QB number 4, ADP.
boo
38.
this man. Boo.
Boo yourself. Well, I like Burrow. I like Fields. I like Herbert. I like Trevor Lawrence. All before I like Lamar Jackson. I think the fact that they let go of Melvin Gordon when having J.K. Dobbins at 100%, I feel like Lamar's not going to. I've been saying I don't think he's going to be that running quarterback he's been. I'm not saying he's not going to run, but he's not going to run as much. They signed Beckham. They got Zay Flowers, who sounds fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
So,
a lot of good news on him.
And I don't hate the guy, but I like those other guys. And then I have him going at QB 8 by the end of the year. But now here was the ADP part. So right now you had what? Trevor Lawrence at going what 58, something like that, 50 something. Let's say
54.
54. Let's say that's Lamar Jackson there. Now does that move up because it's Lamar Jackson because he's a running quarterback? So does he move up to like 48, 45, 40 maybe? Do you know what I mean by that?
He's
It's
never going to be there, those picks, regardless. But
well, right, Trevor Lawrence is like so. Basically, I'm putting him where Trevor Lawrence is going right now. So does that change the ADP because it is Lamar Jackson?
Well, he's going to go a little bit higher just because of the rushing upside, especially over guys like Burrow and Herbert. He has just that more, and depending on how your league settings.
that's why he's goes where he does go, is the rushing.
But I don't believe he's getting it.
So, I mean, even if he only puts up 700 yards rushing,
I don't think
that's
he gets that.
What? Even if he puts up 500,
I'm thinking like 3 tops. Like
No
that's
way.
Dude,
that's
wish I
still
could
an extra 30 points
bet
over
you on Lamar.
what?
I'm going to bet on Lamar.
As
Daniel
long as he's
Jones
healthy.
had 700.
because Daniel Jones was the only fucking guy on that team. Like he didn't have nobody to throw to.
I
He
think
had
Lamar.
Barkley up.
I think he pushes the 1,000 yards again.
Yeah, I could see
Nope,
an 800 with maybe 3 rushing touchdowns.
We're going to definitely revisit that one throughout the year.
Definitely will. We can consider like
Make a note
boo
on
you
it
and
right
boo you
here.
and never- I don't want this shit deleted.
My third down after that horrible, horrible selection.
Mr. Jalen Hurts. Fuck.
Fuck the Eagles. Najee Harris is going to be my third down. And kind of because of one of your ups, Coop, because Jalen Warren's going to steal quite a bit of work from him. He's ADP is 25, running back 10. I think he should be outside the top 15 running backs, maybe mid fourth. I'm not a Najee Harris fan. He survives strictly off of volume, and Jalen Warren's going to eat some of that volume this year. So
Yeah. Well, and I think maybe too, we'll see a little bit more passing as well. So he might not have as much volume as he had the last few years because they may transition more to an aerial. We'll see what happens.
Pickett's going to have to take a big step forward, turn into a passing team.
Well, they said they're confident in him, and they threw it around a lot more in the preseason. Now, granted, we'll see if that continues or not.
You ever heard a team come out in the preseason and be like, I'm not sure about this starter. Our confidence level in him is quite low. We're going to see what happens, but we're just going to put him out there and we'll see how it goes.
Like too.
But even then, they're going to be like, we have a lot of confidence. Even the coaches are going to be like, we have a lot of confidence in the guys we have in the room. Clayton Tune and the newly acquired Dobbs. Yep. Lots of confidence in those two. I think they can get it done. I'm going to go out and win some games. No, you're not.
Yeah, they're going to win the one game.
15-2 on the season.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to have coaches have like one day where they have to be honest. Oh, that'd be fucking hilarious.
That'd be awesome. Like, no, coach, you
That
cannot
would be
lie
their
to us
sick
and give
day.
us the team answer.
No kidding.
Oh, but I was in the tunnel all day. I couldn't get on my phone.
Your third down, Coop?
So going back to the Rams here, I got Cam Akers. Currently going ADP of 57. I really think he shouldn't be in that 80, 85 range. I like the guy, but that Rams offense is going to be so bad. It's just,
Only guy getting the ball right
Yeah,
now.
especially if Cup's out now. Like,
yeah.
oh my,
I mean-
yeah, he might be the only one getting the ball. Him and Higbee,
Yeah.
but
Again, though, how much is he going to be able to do when everybody knows you're only the only person getting the ball?
the touchdowns won't be there. They're going to be off the field so fast, and that's if Stafford stays healthy.
Yeah, and that's going to be the other thing. How long is Stafford stay healthy? Because that defense isn't going to be very good, and I have a feeling they're going to be behind a lot.
Other than Higbee, I don't really have any other Rams.
Yeah, Higbee's the only one I really trust, and that's just because he's generally healthy.
I mean, he's just there. I mean, somebody has to catch the ball.
Yeah, especially now.
They are. I mean, NFL
Cup.
teams are going to complete some passes. Andy, you're the last
Kenneth Walker, running
Yeah.
back 16, ADP 42.
I agree.
Charbonnet is going to steal a lot of that.
He is going to cut into his
A
workload.
lot of it. I mean, you got Damian Pierce, Miles Sanders, Madison, Dobbins, Akers, and Connor all going behind him. I actually like Akers for that simple fact. Cooper Kupp going out because he's going to get the ball. He's going to get the touches. He's going to get the chance.
I would take Madison and Dobbins for sure over Walker.
Yeah.
Maybe Connor too.
Yeah, Akers. I would definitely
The other
take
ones
Walker
get pretty
over
close.
Akers. Madison, I kind of put on that same level, especially now with the Gaskin signing. I think that really kind of lowers.
Yeah,
some of
I
his
ain't worried
value.
about Miles Gaskin.
No.
I think he'll take more of the third down.
I'm not worried at all.
Last year.
I think they're gonna. I think Madison actually has a really good chance to be the bell cow running back. Like receiving, rushing, just leave him out there and let him play.
Yeah,
If they do, he's gonna be in for like back in RB1 type season.
yeah. I mean, it's going to be an interesting backfield to watch. But yeah, I still think Walker could have a lot more value though over guys like Connor and Akers, just due to the fact of where those guys are at, and those teams obviously in a worse situation than what Seattle is, who's probably going to be a lot more competitive.
I mean, Walker looked. I mean, he looked good last year, but you don't go out and add Charbonnet, the second round pick, if you don't plan on
Using
dividing some of that up.
I mean, some of it maybe to try to keep him
Penny,
healthy,
though.
but
They did lose Penny, though.
Yeah,
well, they lose like all their
but
running backs every year.
I was going to say they lose Penny all the time. I mean, even when they had him.
I mean, they're gonna probably lose 2 more running backs throughout the year because that's what Seattle does. Is they just
Maybe
lose
be
a running
Walker.
back.
All right, well, that's going to do it for today. I failed to mention on Sunday we are doing the. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Announce it.
I was going to kind of do the background.
We're going to do the Mega Bowl, footballers' massive tournament, just for fun. But if we happen to get lucky and win, then we get to play with those guys next year in the listener league. So this will be interesting. We're going to draft a team together again, and
See how
we'll let you know how that goes. We are going to start releasing episodes Tuesday night. So after this one, look for another one coming out Tuesday night.
Something for the lady.
because we want to make sure we're getting in before the start of week. So that way
Yep.
we
Yeah.
can,
If you want waiver information, that kind of thing, watch for us Tuesday night. We'll
Wednesday
get that
morning.
out before the waivers run on Wednesday.
Watch for
So
these sneaky ones we might just throw out. Like, I don't know, maybe a Friday, maybe a Saturday, maybe a Sunday. Just
yeah. And we'll definitely talk shit about your start sit decisions and preview matchups. And,
I will
you know, all
be
kinds
bragging
of
how
stuff
my
we're going to
team
do.
is whipping ass every week.
It's going to be a blast. Looking forward to it. We got 3 drafts on Sunday. So
I got 4.
do we have 4?
I got that Bangla Bowl. I got that winner take all. I got my league, and there's another one in there.
draft weekend, Labor Day weekend. Everybody enjoy it. Be safe. Come back with us Tuesday. Like I said, we'll be just 48 hours from kickoff. It'll be amazing.
Stay high.
Later.
Always.